Now, some of you may be wondering, most likely not, but you might be, why I am making another video about AFK fish farms after I literally just made one. And if you want to see that original video to this fish farm, it will be linked in the description below. But, alas, I've created an entire new farm. Why? Because literally every single person on the internet was telling me that my farm did not work. And I'm gonna come out and say it. It's not true. My farm is still functional, but I have made some modifications so that if any specific person is having trouble with it, they can adjust the settings and hopefully it will work for them. Now, okay, I said something that didn't make a lot of sense there. My farm is still completely functional. If you are on a Nintendo Switch, it should work. Now, if you're on a server or a realm, it might not work, but if you're on a single-player Nintendo Switch, I can pretty much guarantee that it'll work. But that is not the only platform that this works on. This will work on all platforms of Bedrock Edition, such as PS4, Xbox, Windows 10, Pocket Edition. Now, for Pocket Edition, it's a little bit more difficult to get this to work because you're going to need to hook up either a keyboard or a controller, a keyboard and mouse or a controller to your mobile device, because this will not work with touchscreen. It just won't. But the farm is pretty much the same. Before, I had an iron trapdoor here, which I still have to have one iron trapdoor there just so that the farm functions, but I replaced this iron trapdoor with a regular wood trapdoor just to make it a bit more cost effective. I also added one above you so that aligning yourself is a bit easier, because I know I personally was having a lot of trouble aligning myself. Now, before I even begin to talk about this farm, I am going to show you how to make it work, because a lot, and I mean a lot of people, did not understand how to get this farm to work. So either they built it slightly wrong, or they were using it wrong, or they were experiencing lag, and I will get into, if this farm isn't working for you, if you built my old AFK fish farm and it doesn't work, then I will show you a way to potentially fix that. But let's get into it. Hello, everybody, and I don't know what to do. Usually I say that at the beginning of the video, but I did not this time, whatever. This is a Nintendo Switch controller. If you're on PS4, this may look a bit different. If you're on Xbox, it might look pretty similar, minus the Nintendo Switch logo. But this is a basic controller. I'm sure a large majority of people who play Bedrock Edition are using something like this. And if you are on mobile, you are going to need something like this. But no, you are not going to need this. This is entirely useless for this farm, of course. It's actually a really good controller in general. You're going to need something a bit more like this. If you're playing this on Nintendo Switch, I will have the link to this exact controller in the description down below. And all in all, it's not really that good of a controller. I mean, it's another Pro controller. It's better than a Joy-Con because it doesn't drift nearly as bad, but this is a turbo controller. You see that button with the T underneath it? That is the turbo button. I press turbo and the button I want to go turbo at the same time, and then when I hold down the button, say I had turbo activated for A, it'll give the A input 6 times per second. For an auto clicker, I believe that's somewhere around 67 ms. an input every 67 milliseconds. I am going to verify that at the end of the video because I'm not 100% sure. I'm just stating that from memory. I probably should have checked before I said that, but regardless, hook this up to your console. You're going to need to get some sort of turbo controller. Without this, the farm will not work. That is just a fact. It may look like it's working if you just hold down the button with a regular controller, but it's in reality, it's not actually working. You're not actually going to catch anything. And I would have designed a farm that doesn't need this if it were possible. Unfortunately, a farm that does not require an auto-clicker is currently 100% impossible on the Bedrock Edition. Once it becomes possible, I will make a farm that does not need an auto-clicker. And and some people may say, AFK fish farms, you can just design one that like every few minutes you can come back to it and recast your line. That is not an AFK fish farm. That's not a real AFK fish farm. The point of an AFK fish farm is for you to leave it running overnight or for a few hours when you're not around, and that defeats the purpose if you're there. Now, this also works if you're just like watching TV or something and you just are okay being there spamming the button. That works. Now, I'm going to explain to you my current setup. I hook this up to my Switch, and I obviously would have to turn it on, obviously, and I go in the settings and adjust my controls so that the A button is, I swap the ZL and the A button. Basically, you're remapping A or any other button, really. This is just personal preference. If you have like a rubber band laying around, you can just you can just rubber band one of the triggers or bumpers. I do not have a rubber band laying around for some bizarre reason. So I take my actual controller and I lay it on top of the button, and I prop it up against something usually. Like I'll just prop it up against something. And then like the turbo, this regular controller is a lot heavier than the turbo controller, and it will hold down the button. You can set any sort of weight on that and it'll work. But yes, that is pretty much what you have to do. And now I'm going to clear up another thing that people are saying a lot, which is 1,000,000,100,000,000,000% false. Some people are saying that in the 1.16 update, there was a change to AFK fish farms that means they do not work unless you build some sort of huge water capsule. That is entirely false. You do not need any sort of water capsule to make an AFK fish farm. That is on the Java edition. This is on the Bedrock edition. There were no changes to AFK fish farm, and that's not just for regular loot. You can still get treasure loot using this AFK fish farm with a single block of water surrounded by a bunch of other random blocks in redstone. But let's get back into Minecraft, and I will show you the actual farm. And we are back in regular Minecraft. For those of you who are not paying attention, if you are using a turbo controller or a macro or something like that, an auto clicker, it is going to need to be running at 6 inputs per second. And I would like to correct myself. In the previous clip I said that it was 1 input every 67 milliseconds. That will not work. It's 1 input every 167 milliseconds. That's what I get for trying to do anything from memory. And I'm just going to show you the loot I get for this farm before I do a full breakdown. I got all of this loot from just 10 minutes of running the farm. Now, ideally, you'll probably be running this farm overnight, so you could very well fill up all 3 of these chests under optimal conditions. And that's that. It wasn't even raining, and I just had a basic like a basic enchantments fishing rod. After just about an hour of fishing with a regular fishing rod, you probably have obtained the means to get this fishing rod, because you can actually get fishing rods by fishing, so that works. And also, one more thing I've added from the previous version is this codfish right here. It doesn't have to be a codfish, it could be a salmon. I don't know if it could be a pufferfish. I recommend getting a codfish, and you're going to name tag it. You don't actually need a name tag for this to work. You just need to get the cod in a bucket and then rename the bucket, and then the fish will be name tagged. Also, one difference from the previous farm is that instead of the trapdoor being on the bottom block here, you want it to be on the top. You want it to be on the top here. And other than that, it's pretty much the same as before. I actually made this a bit more cost effective. You just need 1 string, 2 tripwires, and 3 to 4 pieces of redstone. You just need the 2 pieces of redstone that go around like that, and then either a single additional piece of redstone that you can put right there, not like that, you can put like that, or you can put a repeater. Now, this repeater, I believe, is what was causing a lot of trouble for people. So, if the farm did not work for you on default settings, which is a single repeater, which is pretty cheap, really all you need is to find a single vein of redstone whilst mining, and you've got everything you need. So, yes, a 1-tick repeater. If the farm is for some reason not working, first thing I would recommend troubleshooting is the hoppers. It's very easy to accidentally place a hopper facing the wrong direction. You need to be mindful to which direction the hopper is facing, and to determine what direction a hopper is facing, well, to choose which direction a hopper is facing, you need to click the block you want it to be facing towards. Like, if I click that block, it's facing towards that block. If I click the bottom of a block, it's facing down. So you need to like sort of build this backwards. Place down the chests and these ladders. Place down a hopper funneling towards the chest, and the hoppers are really the most expensive thing here. But in reality, you could probably get that much iron from the same session of mining where you got the redstone, or if you were at a village, you could probably just kill a couple iron golems until you got enough iron. So yes, just make sure all the hoppers are facing in the right direction, which is this hopper is facing into that chest. All 3 of these hoppers are facing into their respective chests. This hopper that's underneath the trapdoor here is oh, I had that trapdoor there for a reason. Right. Never destroy your trapdoor. You might be able to see it right there. It's facing into this hopper. And this hopper right here is facing into that hopper. It's just creating a hopper line. And this fish is offset by a trapdoor right here. Be very careful when you're placing that. It's very easy to like misplace it. The trapdoor technically is standing on this block here. It's standing on top of the hopper. Be careful not to let the fish out, because if it gets into the actual block of water, it'll ruin everything. And I did some testing. The fish vastly increases the amount of loot you get. And in my testing, with a repeater on 1 tick, you get a significant increase in the amount of loot. Also, unless you're in a desert biome, in which case this is entirely pointless, but if you're in any biome other than like a desert, you should leave an exposed block above the water that has direct sky access. That is so that when if it rains, then your loot chance increases even more. So leave that block open, and make sure there aren't any other blocks open and no directly exposed corners. That's why I have this little capsule here. even this block in the ceiling here is pretty risky because a phantom could fly through or anything like that. Make sure there's no place for a mob to staircase upwards. No blocks along the edge that it can walk up. I have the like 2 high walls here because of this. And I also placed an iron door here. That is so that a mob can't just walk in. The iron door, you might still die, honestly, but you just gotta be careful. And I place a trapdoor on both the top and the bottom, so just squish yourself up against it. Aim as low on that block as you can, but while still targeting that block. And then start AFK fishing. Do exactly what I said in the previous clip. Have a little ladder area down here, a bed. If you want a more in-depth tutorial on how to build this farm, go see the video linked in the description of my previous farm. I give a much more in-depth explanation, and then just modify it how I explained here. But that, I believe, is about everything I have to say. Said just about everything I need to. Lies, I mean, not that I'm saying lies, that there are lies that everyone is telling you. You thought that you need some giant capsule of water to be able to get your AFK fish farm to work. Not true. You don't even need lava. This AFK fish farm is going to work a lot more effectively than the ones with lava do, and I don't see the point of having the lava-based ones. It's just because people believe that the whole water capsule thing is necessary, the change to AFK fishing. And if you are watching this in the future, check the comments down below. If this gets patched, I will post a pinned comment saying that it no longer works, and if there's a new version that's not patched, I will have that linked in the pinned comment down below. But that is about all the time I have for today. Thank you everyone for watching. This has been The Brain, signing off. Goodbye.